Okay, that was the weirdest thing ever. It's preparing the live meeting.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Sorry, everyone. We were having a little bit of technical challenges this morning. It was not allowing me to go live for some reason. So, I apologize for being late. We were just trying to get things set up so you wouldn't miss this important information. I am so excited. Ariel is very near and dear to my heart, and she is very close to a lot of members in our community, whether you're a customer or a practitioner. She goes above and beyond to help people with their health and help them understand how to heal their body on a cellular level. So, I have the pleasure of introducing my good friend, one of our amazing founders and business partners in our referral network, Miss Ariel Jarvis with Vitality Wellness. And I'm going to let her share all of her experience in the industry, how she came to become this amazing, amazing person and human being that focuses on helping people with their health, well being, and just literally taking a stand for people in the community. So Ariel, please take it away. We'll let you introduce yourself and all of your amazing experience, and we'll talk a little bit about what to watch out for when doing a live blood analysis, because we realize not everybody is in Vancouver and they all can't come see you. So I want people to be aware of certain things that we're watching for when we send them to other practitioners and other people that are doing live blood analysis as well. So take it away.
Oh, what an honor. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully helping you and educating you and getting to know you. So, a little about me. My name is Ariel Jarvis. I'm a natural health practitioner, a herbalist, nutritionist, acutherapist, and I absolutely love learning more and more every day about the root cause so that we can get people independent with their health as holistic as possible. So how I kind of stumbled into, starting my own practice is I actually was homeschooled from kindergarten to grade 12 with a homebound tutor so that it freed up my time so that I could spend a lot of time doing my hobbies and passions, which was, art and dance. I was a ballerina. And my mom had her own private practice in the home. So I grew up around the environment of holistic healing starting right at 6 years old. We had our own garden. She had a gut clinic doing hydrocolon therapy right in the basement of our home. And she was working with clients on restoring the nervous system, helping with the gut microbiome, tons of cancer clients, all of this. And just the level of intelligent people I was around at such a young age and gravitated towards, I soaked that information up like a sponge. And I realized that this was my new passion, was exploring holistic medicine, but I didn't really know where to go. So when I graduated homeschooling from high school, I actually went and decided to explore pre-med, and I went down that avenue for Western medicine, learned a lot, have so much respect for it, and then applied for AUA, which is the American University of Antigua, to become a medical doctor. And this was something that I thought would be the keystone to really help myself, my clients, and get a large level of education. But it was quite limiting because they don't teach about nutrition, nervous system. They don't give us enough tools for prevention or understanding the root cause. So I felt it wasn't for me, and I decided to change lanes. So I went from Western medicine to Eastern medicine, and I really absolutely loved the transition I did. I decided to learn about herbs and emotional healing and fitness, exercise, sleep, frequencies, quantum healing, nutrition, learning about blood analysis and different types of medical technologies, and just what the whole world of Eastern medicine has access to. And let's face it, technology has advanced so much nowadays. Look at like Chat GPT, AI technology. Well, we have our own gadgets too. I have a facility now that is about 3,000 square feet. There are 8 rooms in my facility, Vitality Wellness World, located in Langley. We've about 13 practitioners, so we've definitely grown. Our company now is 5 years old. I started off in a tiny little room I remember Callie remembering me when I first graduated, and I started off in a small little room, and then we eventually had 2 little rooms. Fast forward 5 years, now we have a larger facility, and we have a ton of different therapies in the Eastern medicine realm that can pinpoint and customize people's healing journey. So whenever we're dealing with somebody, we're always dealing with a custom approach. And so one of the things that I like to look at is I like to look at the blood. I think it's fascinating, and there's a lot that the blood will show us based on characteristics. So if you're not familiar, this is called microscopy. It's live blood and dry blood analysis. So it's a little different when you go to Life Labs and they draw blood from the vein. We are only taking a few drops of blood from the finger. So we take a little pinpoint extraction from the finger. We look at your blood underneath a microscope that has a camera, and we pull it up on a screen. So we don't take your blood and send it off to a lab in Germany, wait 6 weeks to get the information. No, no, no. You get your results in under 5 minutes. So you actually get to see your results in front of you, and I explain it to you so that we're interacting with your health journey, and I'm teaching you and helping you become more independent. So it's a very hands-on approach. I hold your hand every step of the way. What I'm looking at is I look at live and dry blood analysis under a dark field microscope. So what we're doing is we're taking a look, and I have a few medical charts here. I know you can't really see it,
I
but
actually found some on Google we can actually just share so people can understand what they're looking for. I think this will really help. And then um, you can talk about what it is that we're exactly looking at. But again, it'll give somebody a good idea because I realize that people are going to go to different practitioners and different live blood analysis wherever they are in the world. But if we can show them a visual, then it will definitely help. So let me just see. Can you see the screen?
yeah,
Okay,
perfect,
cool.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what we want to look at is your red blood cells should be completely round, separated, smooth, and moving. And you would be shocked at the lifestyle we have nowadays. Everything we put in our body is impacting the biochemistry of our body, impacting how our cells absorb, how they detoxify, the pH of the blood, which is supposed to be 7.35. It'll impact the ecosystem of the blood. So we've learned about the microbiome of the gut. Well, there's also a whole ecosystem in your blood. You have your red blood cells, your white blood cells, but then you also have little invaders, maybe some heavy metals, maybe some parasites, maybe some bacteria, fungus, mold, yeast. There are so many different pathogens that we can be exposed to in our blood that come from our outside environment. So maybe if you live in a house full of black mold, or maybe you were a welder or a painter and you didn't wear a mask or gloves and you were exposed to a lot of paint, a lot of chemicals, a lot of heavy metals. Your skin is your biggest detoxing organ. So everything going on in the skin or on the skin gets directly absorbed into the lymphatic system and into the blood, and it will impact the ecosystem of the blood. Also, everything going on with your gut, especially if you have leaky gut or a lot of IBS or a lot of gut issues, those particles are going to migrate through the endothelial cells that line the intestinal wall into the bloodstream, and they're also going to impact the blood. So not only is your blood impacted by the outside environment, but the inside environment too. So we do have to consider both environments, but it's nice to know where your blood is at. So I always start off with a blood analysis, where I'll take a look at your blood. I'll take a little pinprick on the finger. I take a sample of the blood. I put it on a cover slip. And on a slide, we look underneath a dark field microscope, we pull it up, we take a look at, are your red blood cells separated? Are they round? Are they smooth? And are they moving? Are you full of parasites, bacteria, fungus, mold, and viruses? So these are some of the things you want to look for, and take pictures.
Yeah.
Your cells turn over every 25 days, your red blood cells, making a whole new generation of cells based on what you eat, drink, and your stress. So your environment will impact your blood. So I always tell people, you need to know where you're at. You need to know where your blood's at, take pictures, and then make sure you do a follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna wanna look at your blood in about 30 days to see if the water you're drinking, your sleep, your diet, your stress management, and your exercise, lifestyle changes have improved the blood. Because if you're working with a practitioner that knows what they're doing, then your blood will improve. and then
Right.
get to a maintenance. So that's
Right.
live blood.
So can I want to talk about something in here. There's a lot of people that have come into our network and come into our group because they've seen my videos. We're not going to talk about that on this particular call. But what I really want to stress is, if you're feeling unwell, if you feel like your inflammation, if you have major fatigue, if you have, problems with your digestive tract, if you're having problems with having bowel movements, like most of the time, actually every single time, you can actually determine what's really going on with your health the majority of the time by doing a live blood analysis and looking at your blood on a cellular level. So it was really important that I did this call with Ariel for you to all understand. And what I recommend you do, go on Google and look up what normal live healthy blood is supposed to look like, and look at blood what it's not supposed to look like. Because when I first started working with Ariel, and I've done multiple tests, I go every 2 weeks now for my live blood analysis test. And you know I really want to get healthy. I want to be able to have a family. I want to be here for a long time. I want to be here for my friends. I want to be here for this community. And if I don't start taking care of my health and looking at what are the root causes, what's making me sick, then I won't be here to have these conversations with you guys in the future. I mean, the whole purpose of our network is to bring educators and people with certain unique skills, products, and services to our industry to benefit every single person in our community, both in the health and wellness space and the beauty space. But when I first started working with Ariel, my red blood cells were not even moving, you guys. When you look at your blood on under the microscope with Ariel or with any of the other practitioners, you're going to see things that you were like, it's going to give you a wake up call. And we're not doing this to freak you out. We're doing this so you can make the best decision on how to improve your health, well-being, and your immune system to fight off certain things. I mean, if your red blood cells are all stacked together and you're drinking water, if you're not drinking the correct water, your cells are not even absorbing the water. So I love having these kind of conversations, especially now that we're starting up our Wellness Wednesday. We're going to bring on amazing speakers every week to educate you, to talk about products, to talk about water. We're going to talk about, what you can do. And that's why I wanted Ariel to be on this call, because I think, there's nobody better to hear it from than her. She literally loves helping people, and that is why we want to educate people on what a live blood analysis is. I mean, people that are scared of needles, you don't have to worry. It's a little tiny prick of your finger. You don't even notice. But I mean, in 30 days, you can turn over your whole health just by following the steps that Ariel teaches. So I'm going to stop sharing screen. You guys can go look up Google live blood analysis, healthy cells, unhealthy cells. But the point of this call is for education. So let's talk a little bit, Ariel. From when we first started working together, all my red blood cells were clumped together. They looked like a caterpillar. My blood wasn't even moving at all. And we've seen dramatic changes. I've done a few other things, but we're not going to discuss on this call. But what are the 10, let's say, 10 key things that people can start integrating into their life right now that will help improve their fatigue, gut health, hormones, all those kind of things?
Oh, I love that. Okay, get your pen and paper. Number one, remember this, everything I'm talking about is Chinese medicine. This has been around for 200 years and or more, and this is like standard basics. So your liver needs to be detoxed 4 times a year minimum. So we get all of our clients on a liver detox.
I'm taking my own notes.
Your liver is the filter. If the filter is plugged, it can't detox the rest of the fluids going through it. So you're going to have issues with your gut, your skin, your hormones, fatigue. You're going to have issues with your blood. Your blood is a transporter of vitamins, minerals, oxygen to the rest of the body, and it's meant to have a pH of 7.35. The reason why that's so important is because if the pH drops, you now are going from a raging river to a stagnant pond. What grows in a pond? A lot of pathogens. What happens? it actually starts to impact and creating a low acidity environment. So it's very acidic, and it starts to pull minerals from your skeletal system, which is your bones, ligaments, joints. So what happens is you're going to start having issues with your joints. I see this all the time with people that need to get a hip or a knee replacement. And I'm like, if you think about it, if the tissues are acidic, the bone becomes acidic. Your bones are a storage of alkaline minerals. If I take a chicken bone and I put it in a vat of acid, what happens to the chicken bone? It dissolves.
Disintegrates, yeah.
Well, what happens to your tissues in your blood if it's acidic? What happens to the minerals around it? They get sucked out. So we see this all the time with osteoporosis, arthritis. So if you get the pH back to normal, back to homeostasis in the tissues, in the blood, in the rest of the organ systems where they're meant to be, so getting everything back to homeostasis the way it's meant to be, then you won't be buffering and losing minerals on a daily basis, creating deficiency. So number one is liver detox. 4 times a year, reach out to us. We have an amazing liver detox because sometimes they don't all work. Number 2, a parasite detox, especially if you have a cat or a dog. They teach this in schools, in kindergarten, in Europe and Japan, but in Canada, they don't teach it. I don't know why. This is standard education. So if you have a cat, a dog, a bird, you have chickens, you have horses, you need to be doing a parasite detox twice a year or more. If you don't have animals, only twice. If you do have animals, definitely more frequently, because you will see parasites in your blood when you come see me. I help people on a daily basis. We see parasites, they freak out. We do a whole detox, they're good to go. Number 3 is making sure you're drinking the right water.
Ooh, I
tell
love this
people
one.
this all the time. Your body is 75% water. The whole world used to be a blue zone. So the soil used to have 54 elements on the periodic table. Now it only has 4. The water used to have 3 functional properties. It used to have molecular hydrogen, a negative RP frequency, and the proper structure for bioavailability. But in Canada and the US, since 1980, Monsanto came out with glyphosate, herbicides, pesticides, genetically modified food, splicing all the DNA of our food. So what's happened is now we have impacted our farm, our soil, and our water. And so Canada and the US, our water is no longer negative charge. It is positive charge. Well, what are toxins? Toxins are positive charge. What are heavy metals? Positive charge. What are we dealing with inflammation? It's positive charge. So if you're drinking positive charged water, positive repel, which means you won't actually bind to anything and detox it. So if you're drinking tap water, bottled water, reverse osmosis, distilled water, Berkey water, if you're drinking
What about the hydrogen bottles? I know we talked about that
hydrogen
yesterday.
bottles are a total joke. Like I did a whole video on Gary Brecka's hydrogen bottles. Absolute joke. So there's a total difference between molecular hydrogen, hydrogen gas, and regular hydrogen in terms of the particle surface area. You want to make sure the surface area of the particle and the charge actually is permeable into the cell, because the water is only as good as its permeability. So if it's not going in the cell and it's going around the cell instead, it's never going inside the mitochondria, which means it's never supporting the cell, the powerhouse of the cell with ATP, and it's not pulling toxins out of the cell. So this becomes a problem. The cell gets plugged up and it has no energy, no ATP to function. So now you're going to deal with chronic fatigue and toxicity. So that's why water is so important, and people should not mess with their water. You make sure you drink 1 liter for every 50 pounds of body weight, and you drink the right water. If you want to look up the right water, go to pubmed.gov, look up electrolyzed reduced water. That's the medical term. That's the water you drink. Come to our clinic. You get it for free. We educate
Yes,
you.
I'm drinking mine right now.
Seriously. It's been around forever. And you just need to make sure you're drinking the right water. We have a Dropbox with 250,000 published articles by medical doctors. We have all the facts. So just be open-minded and let us educate you. And if you want to come in and learn, we do educational Zooms every Tuesday, 6 p.m., just on the science. So we talked about liver detox. We talked about parasite detox. We talked about water, right? And that's as far as I'm going to go with water, because I could go for hours. We're going to talk about sleep. So what people don't realize is that women need 9 hours of sleep and men need 7 hours of sleep. So prioritize your sleep. If you're not sleeping, maybe your brain is dehydrated. Maybe you're overexhausted because you're low in minerals. Maybe your gut microbiome is off. Like there's a lot of things that can impact. Maybe you're taking too many stimulants. Maybe you're on a special type of medication that's blocking your pineal gland from producing melatonin. Like there could be anything, right? So let's explore why you're not sleeping. But if you are sleeping, make sure you prioritize 7 hours for men, 9 hours for women. The reason why women need more sleep is because we have lower levels of testosterone. And our brains are actually more active because we're always problem solving. Whereas men have a compartment where they don't think. They actually have like a no thinking time. And so they actually don't use their brain as often because they have a turn off switch, which is wonderful. You guys are so lucky, but women don't have that. So women actually use way more neurotransmitter activity in the brain. So we need more sleep. We also have a menstrual cycle every month. So we also need to have more rest for our nervous system. So that's sleep. Number 5 is portion control, nutrition. We live in a world in Canada and the US where everything is super size me. You go to the restaurants, the meals are massive. Your stomach is a muscle, it is the size of your fist. Your meals, your entire meal should be the size of your fist every 3 hours to maintain balance in your glucose and your insulin levels throughout your bloodstream. So you're not pinballing all over, stressing out your adrenals and your cortisol and your insulin. Second thing is your stomach's a muscle. They teach this in Chinese medicine. Your muscle needs to contract to break down the food so that the food can actually go into the small and large intestine to get absorbed through the intestinal wall. But if the particles are too large because you've stuffed your stomach, now it can't contract properly. What happens? It puts the stomach into fight or flight because the vagus nerve and the brain and the gut brain connection. So now you're in fight or flight. What happens when we're in fight or flight on a physiological level? We don't produce enough gastric juices. Gastric juice and digestion shuts off. Now you have undigested food going into small and large intestine, creating all kinds of IBS and all kinds of gut issues. And you could have corrected this by eating slower and eating smaller portions. So I always tell people, take a fist of food. So your fats, your carbs, your proteins, eat every 3 hours. So if you have a 15-hour day, you're eating 5 times a day, and drink 1 liter of water every 50 pounds of body weight, and you will see how your gut will start to improve. But it's also what you put in the gut. So I always tell people, come in, we'll do your macros, we'll do a blood analysis, and we'll talk about what foods you should eliminate so that we're not raising your histamines and oxidizing your gut and creating a ton of inflammation, because that is definitely a problem. We want to have a healthy gut. So we talk about nutrition. Protein is key, right? Making sure you're following your macros and portion control. Number 6 is stress management. So many people suppress and they wear a mask. What does that do? It creates a dysregulated nervous system. You're suppressing emotions. What are emotions? They're energy in motion. They are a frequency. Third law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transformed. So what happens is it creates chemical reactions in the body, and some of these chemicals like cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine, all the fight or flight ones, release very harmful chemicals that flood the brain, creating brain fog, creating issues with circulation, creating issues with absorption of vitamins, minerals, and oxygen. And what do we notice? Chronic fatigue, brain fog, ADHD, ADD, all these neurological and emotional disorders actually stemmed from childhood unresolved trauma. So make sure you work through your trauma. You don't have to relive the trauma, but we have a medical device that we absolutely love called nonlinear neurofeedback. It goes on your head and it starts to regulate your nervous system, so you don't have to talk. You don't have to share the trauma that happened. And it could be a small trauma. It could be something so small, but it impacted you, or it could be something so big, or maybe you're just so busy and overwhelmed with life, kids, family, work, bills, all these things, that you just feel like your head is spinning and you feel very overwhelmed. That's still trauma to the nervous system, right? That's still a fight or flight response. So it can be small or big, but you want to give your body the tools and regulate your nervous system, because that is going to impact every metabolic function in the body. So that's your 6. 7, Get your movement, exercise, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's getting your 10,000 steps. Maybe it's stretching. Maybe it's infrared sauna. Maybe it's running or lifting weights. So finding something that works for you, and that's where maybe getting a little bit of professional guidance on that, because you want to make sure that you're doing something that is A, going to be effective, B, is going to be supportive and strengthening, but also it's not going to burn through your adrenals and stress out your cortisol. The other thing is really making sure that you have purpose. People that live without purpose die early, right? So if we're just constantly taking and we're not giving and we're not serving, you get into this vicious cycle. And I call it the greed cycle, the consumer cycle. And what that does on a neurological level is it actually stunts your neurotransmitters, your dendrites, and your axons from meeting their full potential. So that is all part of your brain health. And if you want your brain to fire properly and you want to fight against depression, anxiety, jealousy, feeling like you're not enough, so self-worth, start serving, start finding some sort of way to give back to our community. That's why Callie and I love what we do. It's
Right.
not that we're good people, it's because we are pure people. We have a pure heart. And it's because we genuinely love giving back because we get so much back in return. It feels good and it also is good for you. And it also pumps us up in terms of giving us fuel to go about our day and continue doing more and more and more of the ripple effect because we know we're making an impact. And I want that for you. So if you don't have any solutions in your life that are making an impact, find something. And it can be as simple as just helping a neighbor or something, but do something, right? So my last two is really making sure that you are targeting what your body needs. So many people are just like, they hear something, they run all over, and they're just like, okay, I need to get this, or I need to get that, or blah, blah. And I'm telling people that if you give your body what it needs, then your body's brilliant. It will heal itself. You just need to know, you need to work with a professional, do a blood analysis, see what your deficiencies are, you dealing with fungus, mold, yeast, bacteria? Like what is going on, and do some sort of detox. So that way you're not overwhelming the body with like a million supplements or, burning your body up by like doing crazy workouts that maybe are damaging to your body. Like there's just so many things that sometimes people do, sometimes less is more. And then lastly is creating a wellness routine. Consistency is key. You can do all the right things, but are you consistent? Right? A lot of people will do something for a short amount of time and then expect a result, but it takes time. It's consistency, right? So
Right.
you really want to make sure that whatever you're deciding to do, you have the capacity to do it for a while. So build up your stamina, right? You don't just start sprinting, you do baby steps. And that's where we're going to hold your hand and we're going to educate you and do baby steps. The body takes a minimum of 3 months to see a change. Your body keeps score. It took a while for your body to get here. It's going to take a while for your body to get to a really good place. We want to get out of surviving and into thriving and optimizing. We're all about longevity to 100 and thriving at 100. And it's about quality of life. And that bar for quality of life looks different for everybody. So it's always important for you to have a professional in your corner who is tracking things, has data, you can see the results and you pivot when things are not working, right? Because every body is different, and just making sure that you're working with someone that has your best intention.
Right.
Oh, that is super important.
Awesome. Well, Ariel, I hope everybody was taking notes. Again, the replay will be available on our YouTube channel, so make sure you go and find us. It's Beauty Referral on YouTube. You can look for us there. But one key thing that I really wanted to mention to everybody, Ariel does also coaching online, so you can also schedule a call with her online if you cannot get to her office to have your testing done in-house. You can also find a live blood clinic in your area and take pictures and send it to Ariel, and she can also analyze them too. So that's what is really important, and why we're putting this directory and this referral network together. So each and every member that we have can get the health and wellness answers that they need in order to make the correct decisions to heal their body. I mean, In 2010, I fainted in the shower, fell and broke my nose, and I'm dealing with a severe spinal injury. And if it wasn't for Ariel's guidance, I would not be feeling the way that I feel right now. I would not be able to, be on these Zoom calls because I was so bedridden in pain and inflammation in my body that I could not even do these calls. And, pouring my heart out and building this community has brought in amazing practitioners and people like Ariel to the table to educate you and also to be there to hold your hand to in your own health and wellness journey. And that's the whole purpose and vision behind our referral network. It's not just selling products to people. What's the point of selling products to people if you can't absorb them and if they're not even helping you heal? That's the point. The point is about educating you so you learn about how to take care of yourself on a cellular level. So if you eat something that makes you feel bad, then you know that you shouldn't eat that thing anymore. Or if you're taking a vitamin and it's not working, you haven't seen a difference, but you're on this supplement for 6 months, there's a reason why it's not working for you. So it's important that we do these Wellness Wednesday calls and educate you so you know how to optimize your own body. That is what is the key here. I mean, if you look at my before and after pictures, I look 10 years younger than I did like even a few years ago. It's because when you take care of yourself on the inside and you follow yourself, your cells, your diet, look at your blood, all of these things, eating and drinking the correct things, making sure you're adding the negative ion charged water to your system, you're going to see a remarkable difference in a very short amount of time. And, it's science. Science, you can't undo science. Like science is it's facts, it's documentation, it's proof of how you can heal on a cellular level. I mean, we're made up of more majority of our bodies are made up of water. So let's start putting the correct things into our body and letting our body heal itself. And I wanted to say thank you to Ariel for everything that you're doing for me, for our community. Like we've sent I don't know, I think there's a list of 20 or 30 people that are going to her for live blood. And really wanted to also give every single member of our community props for being on this call. I see it that the comments are lighting up, and I just wanted to say, you're taking the first step by watching this video, and you're taking the first step by really wanting to improve your health, whatever you're dealing with. I mean, you guys, we've seen stories. There's things going on. It's about educating you so you can make the best decision for your family, for your own health, for your friends. So, you can help them as well because people need to know about this community. People need to know that we are creating this amazing system and this amazing community with practitioners like Ariel. So that's what I had to say. And thank you so much for taking the time to be on this call today. It was amazing. Amazing. I can't wait to do one about water next.
Topic that you guys want to cover, like let's get nerdy, let's get down and deep. Like I love this kind of stuff. I had so much fun, Callie. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for everyone for tuning in.
Awesome. And we will see you guys on the next Wellness Wednesday call. Bye, everyone.